So I've been digging through this whole stack of white papers and announcements, and they all kind of point to this awkward truth about where crypto is right now.
Hmm.
We've spent, a decade building these blockchains that are like glass houses, Ethereum, for example. Every single transaction, every wallet, it's all out there for the world to see.
And that's the transparency dilemma, right? If you're a major institution, you just can't operate when the entire market sees your strategy before your trade even settles.
Right.
And the sources we're looking at today, they focus on the Oasis Network. Their whole argument is that the next big leap isn't about, say, faster transactions. It's about what they call vertical privacy.
Okay, but let's be real here. Is Oasis just another privacy coin? This something to hide transactions, or are they actually building this trustless AWS thing they talk about?
It's a big claim.
Sounds like marketing fluff to me.
It does, a little. But the architecture is where it gets interesting.
Mm.
See, most chains, they just cram everything together, security, processing, all of it.
Mm.
Oasis is modular. They decoupled the consensus layer, which is, just the secure ledger.
That's boring part.
The boring but essential part, yeah. And they separate that from the computation layer. That's where all the heavy lifting happens in these things called ParaTimes.
Okay, so they split the work, but how does that actually help with privacy?
Because it lets them create things like the Sapphire ParaTime. You can think of it as the first confidential EVM.
So it feels like Ethereum for a developer.
Exactly. It looks and feels the same, but the actual state of the contract, all the data inside, is encrypted by default. And the real key, according to these technical docs, is the ROFL framework.
I did see that, and I have to ask, please tell me ROFL doesn't stand for what I think it stands for.
Sadly, no. It's runtime off-chain logic. And this is the piece that really moves Oasis from just being a blockchain to something more like a cloud platform.
How so?
It uses trusted execution environments, or TEEs. Specifically, they've integrated Intel's newer TDX tech.
Okay, let's break that down for everyone listening. A trusted execution environment. Is it fair to call that a digital black box?
That's the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
You put your code and your data into this hardware-secured enclave. The chip runs the process, spits out a result, and gives you proof it did the work correctly.
But no one can see inside while it's working.
Nobody. Not the node operator, not Oasis, not even the developer who wrote the code. You can't see the raw data during processing.
And that capability, that's the bridge to this whole DeFi thing, right? Decentralized AI.
Exactly, because right now, centralized AI is a black box that you can't verify. You just have to trust the company. Oasis wants to offer a black box that you can.
And the Meta partnership is the big example here.
It's the huge trust signal. Meta needed to check its AI models for racial bias. But to do that, they needed really sensitive demographic data.
Data they couldn't legally or ethically just look at.
Right. So they used the Oasis black box. The fairness assessment ran inside that secure enclave. The model learned what it needed to, but the data itself stayed encrypted and invisible to everyone. It proves you can have responsible AI.
So that covers the big corporate use case, but I also saw notes on Flashback Labs and Zeph. That sounds more user-focused.
It is. Flashback Labs is building federated learning. You can essentially rent out your data to train a model and get paid for it, but the raw data never leaves your device in a readable form.
And Zeph?
Zeph is a confidential AI companion. It's designed so your private conversations aren't just sitting on a server somewhere waiting to be mined for ads.
Okay, so we've got the tech, we've got the AI angle. Let's follow the money, though. The pilot with Franklin Templeton and Zodia Custody using the BNJ token. Why do they need privacy? Is this just about hiding assets?
It's about protecting their strategy. They're managing semi-liquid credit on-chain, so borrowing against assets that aren't cash. The key thing here is leverage. If the whole market knows your exact margin threshold, predatory traders could just push the price down to trigger a liquidation and wipe you out.
They'd be hunting your stop loss.
Precisely. So with Oasis, the existence of the loan itself is public on the blockchain, so it's all verifiable. But the sensitive terms, the interest rate, that margin call number, that's all hidden inside the Sapphire ParaTime.
That's the compliant privacy they talk about.
That's it. Institutions want blockchain settlement, but they can't afford to show their entire hand to the table.
That actually makes perfect sense. It's not secrecy for secrecy's sake. It's competitive strategy.
And that's the moat Oasis seems to be building. They're not competing on speed. They're betting the future economy runs on secure, private computation.
Which kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. We've spent a decade obsessing over trustless money. But in this age of AI and constant surveillance, Is trustless computation actually the more valuable prize?